Hi, so today I wanted to go over specifically the Enkaus here. I put out a couple of videos already going over sort of the Follie null stars thing. However, I finally decided to go and fully make the Enkaus here, farm it up, and realize that we really don't even need to use Follie for this. The main thing is actually Enkaus with a blast. So, if you see the passive here, enemies instantly dissolve when they are below 35% health when inked. You can ink enemies either by using the alt fire of the gun, or my preferred way is just using Follie's 3 with max range. This is the build I'm using for Follie here. These are the shards. And yeah, basically, before I was using a barrel to get them below like 35% health, and then using the blast from null stars, shooting one enemy with Enkaus with no mods would basically cause that blast from null stars to go off, cascading the passive to dissolve through all the enemies. However, modding blast on the Enkaus itself with an insane status chance basically makes it so you no longer need to spawn in the barrel. Meaning this can be done with any character with blast. Or with null stars, basically. So I'll do that, and shoot a guy here. First one takes a second to get galvanized, but as you can see, as the blast box go off, it starts setting off the passive for the enemies around it, and causing them to instantly dissolve. So one thing to note, this is a beam weapon, but this, unlike the turret or anything like that, this is a non-chaining beam, meaning it is purely single target damage. That off, I will disable those stars here. Obviously, you will still see some guys getting hit by it due to the blast box. As you can see, not being inked doesn't set it off. Even without null stars, the blast box will sometimes set it off. Null stars just makes it so it sets off in a wider area. But yeah, so like I said, I prefer using it with Follie, but you can use it with any frame. So let's go to the originator of null stars, Nova here. Grab the Enkaus. And I typically use autos on her, but Nourish works very well as the viral 4.25 times multiplier gives you actually a very massive damage boost. So as we'll see here, then ink them. There we go. So important to remember when you are using it on anybody other than Follie, you do need to alt fire to get the ink. But yeah, that's Nova. That's even without Molecular Prime active. But let's go to Hydroid now. Hydroid's another frame I commonly use null stars on. As you can see, I already have Enkaus on him from testing it earlier. And again with him, for viral, you would use his one for the viral priming. Well, as you can see there, don't even really need to ink them to get kills with it, as Hydroid is an insane weapon platform, but... yeah, and that's without even using his 3 to armor strip. If we were to add everything together, do 3, 1, 4, ink them. Sort of just instantly triggers that dissolve on enemies. And to groups of enemies too. So it works very well with him. Another thing is if you're thinking null stars is sort of a ability that's coded as a weapon, and another thing that's coded as a weapon ability is Breach Surge. One thing is on Frostier, it works very well. As Breach Surge, basically that first enemy you shoot will instantly die, taking a few million damage, which will then get multiplied multiple times by Breach Surge due to the crits and everything on it. Just gotta pick the first guy, and as you can see, everything else sort of just dissolves around you. There's an 81 million, 188 million. Very, very fun, and that's just from basically inking and shooting this front guy. And then you can shoot other people around. Yeah, it works very well on him. Another person I use Breach Surge on is Limbo. Works good on him as well. I have on Salta. And yeah, basically I found the best though is just to use it on Follie with null stars, as it's sort of the most reliant. I did try it on Sevagoth here, using this here. Basically without, you have to run no strength, no blind rage, or else you will just kill them. If we get Enkaus here, don't put up Gloom, or again, you'll just kill them, and just do that, and then shoot. Oh, I didn't ink them. But there we go. And basically, your Sow and Reap do enough to perfectly get them to the point where you can just shoot, and the blast will then sort of propagate through, causing all of their passives to go off, instantly killing them all. So honestly, I'm being honest, I think Sevagoth is probably the second best besides Follie for this. Just because it is so easy just to get them instantly down and to clear out groups. However, at the same time, by just putting on one mod, putting on Blind Rage and using Roar, you can then instead just have the sort of one shot anyways, so don't know if it is worth it to use that. So up to you for that. But yeah, I'm gonna hop into a mission now using this, just to show off it in an actual mission here. But yeah, Follie has been very fun to mess with. Well, I should say honestly, the Enkaus has been much more interesting. We can do a Fisher. But yeah, so, I very much like the Enkaus now. Oh, oops. Sorry, dude. I very much like the Enkaus now, much more than before. Now that I don't have to rely on the barrels from Follie to trigger the prime enemies to trigger them for the passive, just using Enkaus itself.
These are worthy foes.
Is very nice.
Watch out. I'm detecting void fissures nearby. Do you have a matching relic? The Oregon Neural Sentry is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support.
Get some enemies to spawn in here.
A fissure. Defend yourself and use reactant to open relics.
As you can see, if you compare this to the damage from the last video, it is a much higher amount of damage.
Use that reactant to open a relic.
Not a much higher amount of damage, but much more consistent damage, as well as more damage just from the Enkaus itself, rather than relying on the barrel for everything. There are the enemies. Here they are. Yeah, there we go. That's a really good example of it. Shot these guys to the left and people to the right all sort of exploded. And to say, I do have Shred on this, so there is some punch through. However, Shred is just punch through directly back. It wouldn't do that where it shoots some enemy, not even in line with them. Yeah, look at that. So honestly, the best case scenario is if you were able to get some sort of grouping ability as well on Follie, or some better way to group. Guess one thing you could do, honestly, I just thought of it, is use the Sciotid, the Araxia secondary, as your secondary. You use that to group, and then sort of use this to then kill them all. Because obviously it works the best when they're in groups like that. Oh, it was hitting me. Yeah, so if you do that, I would say just, have your thing down, pull out your secondary, do the alt fire with the Sciotid, group them all up, press your 4 once to prime them all with null stars and blast, and then pull out your Enkaus. Also, as you can see, this build is very, very health tanky. We have the 75% from null stars, and then we also have the 90% from our self-portrait here. Plus, we have our Panzer constantly healing us. Now, one thing to note is this is obviously very bad single target damage, and it works the best in groups, as I was saying before. So for Acolytes, of course, still going to need to just use the, use our Thermion RPG, which can just one-shot Acolytes, so Stalker, everything like that. So, it's fun to use in general also. Outdoor closed. But yeah. Oh, that's Octofor. Very fun interaction. I hope that it doesn't get patched or removed like they did with Vadarya and Blast. Hope this very much stays in. But based on how they treated the Vadarya when it came out, where they removed Blast being able to trigger more lightning during the Infinite Lightning thing, I have a feeling that this will soon also be removed. But yeah. Enjoy it while it lasts, and if it doesn't get removed, then this will definitely be a weapon I'm going to be trying with more and more frames. And definitely is going to be my main weapon on Follie here. But yeah, sorry, I'm kind of getting distracted because I just very much like the gameplay with this. But yeah, that's basically it for this sort of showcase here for the Enkaus. Thank you for watching.